Hello and hello everybody, my name is Lucy and welcome to Books and Brushes. So today I'm doing the Amsterdam book tag, which I made up, so this is an original tag. I looked for an Amsterdam book tag already present. I found one that's not in English, so it might be, but I don't know. So there is no English Amsterdam book tags at all that I can see, so this is my new original, the Amsterdam book tag. I love making up tags, I just think it's so fun, and I mean, no one will probably ever do it, but it'll be there in the world, and yeah, I'm really excited for this one, so let's go. So in April I went away to Amsterdam for 4 days and it was jam-packed. I did absolutely everything I could possibly do in Amsterdam and I had the best time. It was me and my boyfriend for 4 days and it was tiring. We did a lot, but it was so much fun and so many experiences and memories that I'm gonna remember and cherish forever. I love travelling, I love seeing the cultures, trying new foods, seeing new art. There's just something uplifting, soul enriching and inspiring about it, and I just really wanted to make a book tag based on all things Amsterdam. So there are 8 main districts in Amsterdam, so I have 8 questions. Let's just get straight on in. Question 1, the red light district. Get it? Red? Red. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, the red light district was one of the things I was really excited to go see. Sue me, whatever. I love the relaxed, chilled out nature of Amsterdam. It's just, you know, do what you do as long as you're not hurting anyone. It's legal here, and that's what I loved about it. I'm quite a sexually open person, that sounds really strange, but I just really wanted to see it and I thought it'd be so much fun. What happens in Amsterdam stays in Amsterdam, but I did so many things, I saw so many things, it was just, I loved it. And good on those girls, like, they're working girls, they're working hard, and respect to every one of them. So the prompt for this question, when I stopped talking about the red light district in Amsterdam, is a book with red on the cover that has sexual content. For this one, there was only really one choice it could be for me. It immediately popped in my head, and that is The Saviour's Champion by Jenna Moreci. Black and red cover, sex content, hell to the yes. Such a great book. An adult book, obviously, but it's a great book, red on the cover, suits perfectly. Question 2, canals. In Amsterdam I did a canal tour and I just found the canals so beautiful, especially for me, an artist. I found walking around, seeing the city, the beautiful buildings and all the canals, just the way the whole city is laid out. I just thought it was a beautiful, beautiful place. So the prompt for this one is a book with water on the cover. I thought I'd go for a simple one, and this one is Requiem. Again, first book that popped in my head, to be honest. Water. Boom. Question 3, Anne Frank. You can't not associate Amsterdam with Anne Frank and all the history of the city, and it's one of the things that when you go to Amsterdam, it's just one of the things you do, right? You have to go see the Anne Frank Museum, you see the building, and you learn all about it. And I love learning about history, and to actually see it is just another thing entirely. The prompt for this one is a historical fiction book that is set in World War II, and bonus points if there's any letters or diary action happening in that story. I have a book here that ticks all of those boxes, and that is Codename Verity by Elizabeth Ween. This one, set in World War II, this one has a main character that is writing some kind of journal, diary, confession, and it is a massive part of this story, so it had to be this one. As far as I'm concerned, the only book that would fit this prompt closer is the actual Anne Frank diary. So, question 4, Pancakes. No matter wherever you go in the world, no matter wherever you travel, a key element of travelling is food, right? I mean, you've got to experience all the food. So I had a lot of Nordic Holland food, and one of the most iconic being pancakes. And the pancakes were delicious. I went to this little underground pancake place that has been open for forever, and it had a queue out the door, and it was so good. So the prompt for this one is a book with beautiful and detailed foodish descriptions, and I went for The Bells by Danielle Clayton. If you watched any of my most recent videos, I talk about how they describe the food, and I haven't seen that in loads of books. There was a couple of books I could have had for this question, but this one is more detailed and more beautiful in the descriptions of the food. But yeah, I think food is a really fun thing to describe and go into depth with, but not too many books do it. So good luck finding one. This question, I'm really intrigued to see what other people would come up with for that, because I want books with more food descriptions. Food descriptions are the best, and yeah, this book suits that to a T. Question 5, art museums. We're talking the Rijksmuseum, Van Gogh, so many different museums, and I love Amsterdam because they are so into their art and artist. As an artist, it's so enriching to see these classics, these complete iconic pieces hung up. It was such an interesting experience to go see, and there was something about the museums and just the whole Amsterdam trip in general that really inspired me and invigorated me, and I'm just really thankful for that. So the prompt for this one is a book that centres around art in the story. If you know me at all, you'll know I love books with art in them, and here I'm not talking about like graphic novels or books with illustrations, although I do love that. I'm talking about where art is literally in the writing. I'm talking about a character who's an artist, a character who goes to see a museum, anything like that. It's not super present, so have fun finding one, but I know I definitely have a few, and I could have used the Soviet Champion, but I've used that. So I definitely had to go with Starfish by Akimi Dawn Bowman. In this, the main character is an artist, and art is a very prevalent part of the story, and her art improves and gets better, and she gets some kind of inspiration to reinvigorate her art. So it's not like the main focus of the story, but it's very, very prevalent, and I just love books that have that, as you all know. Question 6, Heineken. Obviously, Amsterdam is famous for its original birth of the Heineken, the beer, and the Heineken experience, the factory, which me and my boyfriend went to. Heineken happens to be his favourite beer, so he was in heaven. The experience is really cool, and it was a really fun thing to do on his birthday. So the prompt here is a book where the main character gets drunk. Now this prompt was harder than I expected it to be. Now obviously I read a lot of YA, so not as much sex, not as much drugs, not as much drunk, but still, like, teenagers get drunk. I mean, let's not pretend here, let's not be obtuse. Teenagers get drunk. So it surprised me how few books where the main character gets sloshed. Now, I've read a lot of books where the main character has a little bit and they're like, ooh, it's too strong, makes my head fuzzy, I don't like it, And there are side characters who are getting drunk. But to see the main character get drunk, couldn't think of any. I'm going through my shelf going, that one, not really, possible. She kind of has a couple in that one, but there's not really many books where the main character gets sloshed. And then I had another thought. Most of these books are from America and written by American authors and have American culture, even if they're in the future America. Contemporaries are in modern America, all these futuristic dystopians are in like a future version of America, and Americans are not us Europeans. They don't drink. Or at least the drinking culture is very different. I'm a true Brit, I like my drink, I'm a heavy drinker, and it's strange that in America that the culture is just not, it's just not. So to find a book where the character gets sloshed was very difficult. I ended up going with 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James because Anna gets drunk. Yes, well thank you. A realistic part of life, people getting drunk. Thank you. Oh well, I'm thanking this book. People are gonna hate me for that one. But it's true. I mean, it's realistic. I'm not saying this whole book is super realistic and everything. I'm just saying that I wish in more of these books you saw the realism that people get drunk. But yeah, in this book, Anna Steele, in like very early in the story, she goes to a bar with all her friends because she just graduated. She has a ton of drinks. She goes super drunk. She's dizzy. She's not hearing right. She makes a drunk call and she throws up everywhere. So drunk. Yes, tick. I'm looking forward to see what other people choose for this because, like I said, I really struggled, especially in the YA, to find people that get drunk, especially the main character. It just doesn't happen, which is unusual because you think it'd be a very good plot to the story to describe that, because it's quite an experience to describe. So yeah, I thought that was funny. Question 7, bicycles. Now I was told that, you know, in Amsterdam they like their cycling, but I did not expect how much. I got there and it was just bikes everywhere. Literally racks and racks and racks of them. There were more bikes than people. Like, me and my boyfriend were playing Spot the Pedestrian. It was so crazy. All the roads were built for bikes, and I knew that this was a thing. It's totally different to see it in person. Like, again, another thing I love about travelling, you can hear about cultures and you can hear about places, but until you see it, till you experience it, till you're in it, you don't really realise, you don't really know the severity sometimes. And I just thought, seeing all these bikes, it was completely another culture. And I mean, I'm not far away from Amsterdam, but it was just a culture shift that was really different and fun to see. So the prompt for this one is a book that just came out of nowhere. So I'm talking an author that released a book that you weren't expecting, a series that continued that was never supposed to, a book that just completely took you by surprise. For me, it's Map of Days by Ransom Riggs. Love the Peculiar series, love that trilogy. Tales of the Peculiar, that was a fun little spin-off of Tales. Then this just appeared, like suddenly this was released and then suddenly it was dropped and then suddenly it's in my hands. I just completely was not expecting this to come out at all. I mean, I'm really pleased that this is out, but I have yet to get to it. I really want to reread the Peculiar series and then get to this, but you know, that's going to take a hot minute, so I haven't quite got to this yet. But yeah, this one definitely surprised me. There was a couple of others I could go with, namely I'm thinking Cursed Child, I'm thinking Restore Me, but they didn't like completely drop out of nowhere and surprise me, not for me anyway. That might have for you, but not really for me. So this one was the one that definitely surprised me. We're at the last question, question 8, weed. Again, Amsterdam is such a relaxed culture. I love the culture of it. Now, I'm not so much into the weed scene, that's not really my thing. More into the red light district, that was much more fun. But I love the ethos that people should do things that they want to do, as long as they're not hurting anybody, as long as they're doing things in moderation. Why not? So I had to have the drugs and the weed as part of this, otherwise it wouldn't truly be an Amsterdam tag, would it? So for this one, I wanted to go with a book that completely relaxed you while reading it. What about this one? And I don't really read books that are relaxing. I kind of do read books to relax, but all the books I read are very action-packed, you know? Dystopians, thrillers, you know, get your heart pumping, action, excitement, thought, in-depth. I don't really read books that are fluffy and sweet and fun without some kind of angst happening in there. So it was difficult for me to come up with a book that I considered relaxing, but I definitely come up with one, and that is Peggy and Me by Miranda Hart. Now, I read this last July, and yes, it was relaxing. When I read it, it was fun, it was sweet, I adored this book, and there's no action and death and killing and murder and stuff. Now, there was a couple of bits that were really, really sad, definitely, because, I mean, this is almost like an autobiography of her life, and there was a couple of moments that really got me, but on the whole, it was a fun, relaxing book to read. It was a real kickback, let's have fun, let's feel good kind of thing, and it's not something I read often, but I definitely loved it, and I loved this book. Yes, this is a different edition to the one you've seen before, because my mum bought this book for me at Christmas, even though I asked for it 4 Christmases ago, then proceeded to buy it myself. And so concludes the Amsterdam book tag. I hope you liked it. I had so much fun coming up with these questions. I thought some of them were a bit different. I think with tags sometimes it can seem like you're just repeating the same questions over and over again. Shortest book, most surprising book, blah blah blah. But I still love tags, and I think you can come up with some really different, interesting questions if you really try, if you really think about it. And I just really wanted a tag that encapsulated my trip in like a bookish form, you know. Really, really glad I did it, and I had so much fun with it. As for the tagging part, I tag everyone, ever. Anyone who wants to do this tag, go ahead. I love everyone to feel free to do tags. Anyone actually see this and do a tag of this? Probably not, but like I said, it's out there, and if anyone ever thought, oh, should I do an Amsterdam tag, and comes along this video of trying to research, hi! I really hope that someone out there would do it though, because I'd really be interested to see what they'd come up with as their answers, and I just think it's fun to share, and it just kind of connects the community, doesn't it, in another way. So it would be really, really fun if someone did. If you want to see your favourite booktuber, suggest this tag to them. You never know, couldn't hurt to try. Maybe they'd do it, and that would be really fun, and oh, that would be so great. Thanks so much for watching. I realise I haven't asked you to like or subscribe or comment in any video in ages, because I'm great at this. If you'd like to, I'd really appreciate if you'd like, if you'd watch, if you'd comment, and if you'd subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!